Good morning, friends. It's Mike and Deanna here.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right,
How's
let me just
everyone?
refresh here, make sure we're live. 'Cause you never know. And I think, oh, come on. You know what? There's a delay, slight delay. There we go. Okay, cool. I can hear us. All right, welcome back. If you can hear us and you're here, I would love to know where you're from, what you think about sweeteners, and how going low carb, or AKA keto, how that's helped you kind of avoid some of these synthetic sweeteners, or if you're still using them, let us know. That's what we're going to talk about today. Let me refresh my browser because I'm not seeing us. I think I see us. There we are. Okay, cool.
Yay.
You look a little orange.
Too much self-tanner. That organic stuff just doesn't work, you know?
I know, hey? No, it's
kidding.
actually the light.
I'm kidding.
The sunlight's coming through here. So guys, welcome to another Saturday Morning Live. So we're going to talk all about synthetic sweeteners, what you should know about how they do affect your metabolism, your microbiome, your ability to keto adapt, and some of the safe ones. We have a lot over here. Deanna's going to pick and choose some of these guys. But if you're coming on, okay, we got a lot of people coming on. Hello from Canada. Hello from, is CA California or Canada? Because there's another person. Good morning from Tampa. Hello from Afghanistan. I think that's a first from Afghanistan.
Yeah, wow.
The internet is so amazing. All right.
Yeah.
So friends, we're talking about synthetic sweeteners. What's been your experience with that? Let me just mute my, there we go. I gotta mute that. Actually, I'm gonna hit the pause on this guy because we don't wanna see ourselves and hear ourselves. All right, so Deanna.
Yeah.
We, every morning, or every Saturday morning, we've been doing these live shows, and every morning you go out and exercise. So how many steps do you have today?
All right. Fitbit says I have today 14,000.
14,000 steps at
Wow.
8:30 in the morning?
Yeah. That's pretty
Holy
good.
smokes, that's a
Yeah.
record. Normally she's at like 10,000 if you guys have been following this for a little while.
It's so gorgeous out, though. I need to get the extra, like...
Rudy Studios from
1,000.
Tacoma. Sam Hahn, how's the color looking?
Hey, Sam.
Good morning, Sam. All right, guys, so let's just dive into it. Hello from Barcelona, hello from Nashville. Please bring up erythritol sugar-free and Red Bull. Okay, really, really cool. So let's just dive into it right here. This is a really nice transition.
Yeah.
Erythritol, what do you think?
What do I think? Well, okay. Well, you know I have a cookie company, right? So I can't like bash erythritol because I've got it in my cookies. I like it. I think it's one of the more legit sweeteners because it doesn't spike insulin. Again, it could though. So I think everybody is different regarding insulin. So you just have to test your blood after having some. It doesn't do anything to my insulin. And I found that people who eat my cookies, their insulin doesn't spike. So
Right.
I like it. I like it.
So it's a sugar alcohol,
Yeah.
similar to mannitol and xylitol in the sense. So those are kind of the three, erythritol, mannitol, xylitol are three sugar alcohols. And so they're, they can be metabolized by gut bacteria in a positive way and don't cause issues.
Yeah.
Xylitol in that same family, if you swish it around your mouth, it can impact in a positive way the oral microbiome.
Yeah.
So it's been used by dentists for a long time to prevent cavities and things like that. So I think that's definitely on the safer side. Now,
Yeah.
remember, any of these sweeteners that we're going to talk about today or that you consider, these are things that you just want to like sprinkle in.
Moderation.
This isn't
Yeah.
like every coffee that you have, every tea, every meal, you don't want to have these synthetic sweeteners. Like the goal here is a lifestyle transformation so that you're eating more real food and using more herbs and spices and natural botanicals, flavonoids, good oils, good fats. I mean, that's kind of cool. I'm going to move the microphone
Because,
over.
if you're also depending on sweeteners too, I think you'll probably crave sweeter things
Yeah.
as well. So if you can just try to eat like fruit, if you're craving something sweet, just small amounts instead of like adding artificial sweeteners to your food, even like the safer ones. It's probably a good idea, but just like in moderation. Like I like a little.
Why don't you pull
liquid
up the next
stevia.
one that you want to talk about? Hello
Okay.
from San Francisco. Hello from
So-
Serbia. Barcelona. Love that. Sorry to hear about all the unfortunate events that have occurred recently. Hello from Nashville. Okay, please, Red Bull, we're talking about that. Hello from Montreal. Good morning. From North Idaho. We love North Idaho. Sonia, where in Northern Idaho are you right now? Because we're going to be there actually next weekend in Coeur d'Alene. Okay.
So Mike, do you want me to talk about this, something kind of important that I want to kind of cover before
Let's
we
do it.
get into
Dive into it.
Red Bull, etc. So you guys, this is something I have here, not because
They
I
can't
buy
see it.
it.
I'm gonna hold it up.
But
Just-
because I have a cookie company. I did a lot of testing with sweeteners, etc. in the past, so I just happen to have it in my cupboard. But this is something you see here. It's called FiberYum, and there's also something very similar to it that's called Vita Syrup. It's an IMO, oligosaccharide, okay? So this is the syrup that is in all protein bars, if you look on the back, it's what holds them together. The big one is like Quest bar, for example. So you'll notice on the label it says like super low carb, or like there's more fiber in it. And what you have to realize is that IMO syrups actually really spike your insulin, okay? So I don't think that they're great to have if you're going low carb or keto, because you'll probably have to count the total carb. So for Quest bars, I think it's like 23 grams of carbs per bar. Just go ahead and count that if you're a macro counter, because it will spike your insulin, and it may even cause some damage to your gut. I don't know about that, but
well, this is actually a really good long chain prebiotic fiber. So that's I see that component on the blood sugar, but
Yeah.
in terms of like comparing this in the realm of ACE-K and aspartame and Splenda,
Oh, for
something like this
sure,
is
yeah.
way, way better.
Yeah.
So what we're talking about, guys, and I know a lot of you are just now hopping on.
more like the
We're talking about
fat-burning aspect.
we're talking about prebiotic. It's Fiber Yum is
Yeah.
what it's called. So this is from non-GMO tapioca starch.
Right.
So this is really, really sweet.
like some people buy this to make their own Quest bars at home, which is actually kind of fun, etc. But again, it's super moderation, because it spikes my insulin like crazy. So that
You don't
would,
need a
I'm
whole
sure,
lot. You
throw
do
you out
not
that
need a
one.
whole lot of this.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about it is it contains a very long chain, kind of a prebiotic fiber that can be good for your microbiome. Now, if you have SIBO and you have a lot of digestive issues, you might get a little gas and bloaty.
It's like similar to this stuff too.
Okay, let's
This is
show
like
it.
another version of it.
I'll hold it up here.
So again, this is actually inulin. I'm sorry, Mike, that's inulin.
All right,
So you might as well talk about inulin.
Yeah, inulin's really good for the microbiome here.
Yeah, chicory root inulin. And so there's different types of inulin. There's inulin from agave, inulin from tapioca starch, and inulin from chicory root. Mm-hmm. And
This
I
is
think
from
they're
chicory root.
They're pretty much all the same. This one doesn't spike my insulin, so I think it's pretty safe in like coffee if you like your coffee a little bit sweet, or if you like it on a little bit of a dessert. But again,
I think this is
moderation.
great. So there's a lot of good research coming out of Europe for how inulin improves bacterial diversity. It lowers metabolic endotoxemia. So I think this could actually be a really safe sweetener to put in your coffee if you're doing a lot of bulletproof coffee and you're kind of new to keto and you haven't really totally worked on your gut health quite yet and have really transitioned to a real whole food, clean style diet. Because as you know, liquid fat, and I'm going to post an interview with Dr. Tommy Wood after we do this video, this live video. Great discussion all about metabolic and that's our rooster, all about metabolic endotoxemia and how, exposure to liquid fats, whether it's, bacon fat in a liquid form, butter. Can you guys hear Frank out there? It's really loud for us. Our rooster is crowing right now. And coconut oil. So that can actually cause these bacterial endotoxins within the small intestine to be absorbed and cause leptin and insulin resistance. So inulin, if you're just coming on, folks, it's a fiber that can slow that down. Now, we're huge fans of getting fiber from your real food. Like number one, everything that we're talking about today, these are like small little additives that you can sprinkle on. It's not the foundation of your diet.
Right.
So
Let's talk about stevia too, Sarah. I like
dive
that.
into it.
I really like stevia, natural stevia. My favorite stevia is by Sweet Leaf. It's a liquid stevia, and I put it in my coffee every morning. I just do like a couple of drops, and it makes me happy. Again, like I don't really use it in anything else but my coffee, but I think it's pretty safe and it doesn't spike my insulin. So again, just like a good source, like something like Truvia, that it's said to have stevia in it, I don't think it's really good. It completely spikes my insulin. I think it's very processed. So just make sure that you're getting like ideally like stevia's green. If you've never seen like natural stevia, it's actually a green powder. You can get it in bulk in like Whole Foods or the locals PCC market or natural grocer, or on Amazon. And so Sweet Leaf is wonderful, and they just make it in a liquid form, and it doesn't have that weird taste to it, and it doesn't spike my insulin, but it's always safe to check yours if you're trying the stevia. So again, Sarah, there
real
you go.
quick. So you keep mentioning insulin here, but one way to indirectly test your blood sugar. This is the way that we suggest a lot of you guys go out and get one of these Precision Extra, or just go to your local drugstore and just get a glucometer. So Deanna keeps referring to insulin and so forth. One way, it's hard to really totally test insulin, but you see spikes in your blood sugar. and that will actually cause your pancreas to release insulin to kind of modulate that. So it's very good. Like if you're watching this and you're kind of new to low carb, or you're not even low carb, you're just interested in health in general, I would strongly suggest, going out today, going to Rite Aid, Walgreens, just whatever, a local drugstore near to you, and get a glucometer and then get the strips that they have at that store. Obviously, you can order it on Amazon, but I found that if you order something on Amazon and you run out of the strips and you have to wait a day or two, and then you're going to kind of get out of the habit of not testing your blood glucose. So that's why I like to support, just go to your local store, so that if you ever run out of strips, which you're going to because you're testing, you can just go get it really quick.
So Christian, should you stay completely away from artificial sweeteners if you have gut dysbiosis, even stevia? That's my question.
Yeah, I think it really depends. So a lot of these synthetic sweeteners, particularly the ones that are in diet drinks, Mountain Dew, Diet Pepsi, and things like that, and I'll give you my 2 cents on what I think about those products very shortly. But if you do have, you want to stay away from those those commercialized diet, low carbohydrate sweeteners, because the Splenda, Ace K, which is a sulfamine K, I believe, aspartame, those are neurotoxic and also very toxic to the microbiome, to your gut hormones. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of paradoxical in the sense that these things are labeled as diet low carb, but they alter your carbohydrate metabolic network signaling hubs throughout the body. So I suggest strongly staying away from it. Now, there's a lot of people in the keto space who haven't quite made this lifestyle shift. Like they're going low carbohydrate, and having a lot of bacon, a lot of butter. See what else is coming up. And these diet sodas, and saying that it's okay. Friends, this is straddling. What I mean by straddling is you're kind of shifting the macronutrients in your diet. You're still having a lot of the processed junk food, but it's low carb, so you think that you're keto. You're straddling. You have one foot in a healthy world and one foot in I want to say kind of a toxic world. That's not a sweeping lifestyle shift that we promote on this channel. Mm-hmm. So we don't suggest you do that. This is not the long-term strategy. That might affect your blood, that might get you into a ketogenic state potentially, and you might be low carb, but you're not going to have a sweeping health, kind of improvement. Right. Would you agree with that? Vitality, better sleep, better mood, more even energy, better gut bacteria, all those things that are garnered from making a sweeping lifestyle shift to a real food ketogenic approach. That's the goal here. Right. And so if you're one of these people that, or you have friends or whatever that say they're keto and then they have diet Mountain Dews and diet Pepsis and, these ketogenic junk food, please don't call yourself keto, because that's really giving the ketogenic diet, in my opinion, a bad name. The ketogenic diet needs to be congruent with real whole foods, not a lot of processed synthetic stuff. So I know that's a little extreme, but this is high intensity health. This isn't low intensity health. This is an entry level nutrition channel. We're trying to promote like a real sweeping lifestyle change so that you can really improve your health and vitality.
So Nancy, regarding inulin, you have to be really careful with inulin. It can cause bloating for sure.
Yeah, if you have SIBO. So it is fermented by your gut bacteria, right?
Yeah.
However, I will just add to that inulin can also improve bacterial diversity, improve motility. So it's kind of one of these things.
Small amounts.
Well, small amounts, but then work up over time. Because the thing is, if you haven't had these different types of fibers, right? Your gut bacteria are going to be of a different composition. So when you say, for example, when you start ingesting turmeric, and we'll talk a little bit about turmeric later as a prebiotic, you're going to change your gut bacterial ecology.
Right.
So that's kind of the thing. So guys, if you're still watching, please give this a thumbs up. If you like what we're talking about, if you agree with this message that, we don't want to be straddling and having, Diet Mountain Dew and Diet Pepsi. Those aren't health foods. Yes, they're low carb, but they're not really health foods. So what do we got?
If I, before I get to the stevia has estrogenic properties. Just before we answer that, I've heard various things on that, but just when I get a sweet tooth really quick, I love raw coconut butter.
I'll hold it up while you're talking.
If you have too much of it, don't eat a whole jar, you'll get sick. But it's super sweet naturally. It doesn't spike my insulin. Again, check yours. But this is a nice alternative if you like a sweet coffee. And sometimes I don't even need to add a little bit of stevia to my coffee if I put this in there. It's delicious. Or coconut cream. So let's talk about monk fruit.
Monk fruit, we love monk fruit. Okay, so we're getting a lot of questions that are coming in. How long do you wait before to test blood sugar? Catherine, really good question. So I would suggest like 30, 60, 90 minutes. So there's a lot of different ways to do that. And then what we also talk in our Keto Lean Masterclass, if you guys want to learn all about testing ketones and glucose, figuring out if you're keto adapted, fat adapted, click this link, learn more about that, and you can support the channel and support, these educational type
Here's a great
videos.
question. Oh my goodness. Because I don't know this, Mike. Okay, does lemon in water spike insulin since it's a fruit? That's such a great question.
Jiggly, yeah, that is a good question.
It is.
But it doesn't, to my knowledge. So it's a very, if you had lemon water, it's very bitter. There might be a very small amount of sugar in there, but it's mostly kind of the bitter, de-lemoning and various polyphenol compounds within the lemon. So don't worry about that. There's a lot of other benefits.
More benefits.
Thanks for the thumbs up, guys. Okay, let's see what else we got. We love you, Deanna. Yes, we love Deanna too.
Oh, thanks, Sarah. So sweet.
Hello from Santiago. Hello from, went to Cal Poly. SLO is beautiful there. Oh, some people are talking about this sort of
Did we
stuff.
talk about monk fruit?
No, go for it. Rock on.
I don't use this, but I hear good things about it. It's actually in my cookies. I guess I have had it then, but I don't put it in coffee or anything like that. I don't find it's very sweet, so it might be a good option. It says here with erythritol.
So monk fruit
glycemic.
is from Lohan. It's an Asian plant of sorts. Maybe there's some more descriptions on that. I think it has the least. So stevia can sometimes, depending upon how high the rabinocytin A content is in the stevia, can leave a funky aftertaste. Lohan doesn't. So I think that's a really good. But again, it is pretty sweet. So you don't want to, be pouring this on everything.
Right.
It's a nice transition. Use it when you're making cookies or making treats, making low carb brownies, things like that are a treat. That's what it should be used for.
What do you think about honey, Mike?
Honey, I love honey.
We have honey.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing about honey. You want to make sure that you're getting it from a local farmer, somewhere local in your area, because the bees are going to be endemic to your area, buzzing around, and they're going to help with your immune system and so forth. So that's what I recommend. Go support a local farmer, a local bee farm, get some local honey. It can do a lot of things that are beneficial for your health. That being said, it's a treat. So I like honey in the post-workout window.
Yeah.
If you, when we do back day, which involves deadlifts, bent over rows, arm rows, a lot of pull-ups, we're using a lot of muscle groups. I do like carbohydrates after that and on leg day. So when we're doing things like squats, reverse, RDLs, leg presses, lunges, we're involving a lot of muscle groups. It's great to replenish your glycogen with a little bit. And this is a personal thing. I know you diehard ketos, you're going to be like...
I'm not a honey person, but you go for it. You talk away about honey. I like it. It just throws me over the roof. I just get a high and then I crash. What's up with that?
Well, you know what? This is a very interesting segue into this whole keto adaptation. When you become very keto adapted, you become very sensitive to carbohydrate sources because your blood sugar is so low, your insulin is so low. So any perturbation or fluctuation there is going to be very noticeable. And so that's a really cool side benefit, but also symptom of fat adaptation. So when you're very fat adapted and you start having carbohydrates, a small flux in blood sugar can really cause you to crash and actually go hypoglycemic sometimes because you're
That's
so...
why I avoid it. I can't do it.
Yeah.
But it's delicious.
Because Deanna exercises a lot. Remember, friends, if you exercise a lot, that's a quick way to get keto adapted. You don't have to fast your way into this. You can exercise your way into fat adaptation.
It's not like I'm out, running all day long or anything like that. I'm just very active, walking, gardening, walking dogs, hiking with the family, hitting the gym. My job is active. I'm a chiropractor. Just active. Move.
Again, 10,000 steps before 8 a.m. pretty much every single day. So friends, you got to get a Fitbit. You got to start an Orring ring and start tracking your activity.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised
awesome.
how much you can, and some days if you're really busy with work and life, how you don't get that much activity. And that affects the belly fat, that affects cellulite, that affects appetite, and all that stuff. So let's get back to some of the questions. I'm watching you on YouTube. I don't see the link for Are You Adapted? It's right there. So this is called a YouTube card.
You almost poked my
Did I? It's a little
Not
eye.
here.
It's right
Up
here.
there.
It's a little eye. So just check that out. Let's see what else. Hello from Barbados. Getting all the natural.
Mineral water and lemon. That's
awesome. Mineral water
I
and
love
lemon.
it.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Yummy.
Thank you so much. Can I see you in Coeur d'Alene? We're going to be a family, Sandhya. maybe we do go shopping at Pilgrims, and we just love that store.
Yeah.
So maybe if you're there, we can
For
sit
sure,
down.
yeah.
So he says, hey, Mike, will you do some deeper research on stevia and estrogenic cancers? A layperson, etc. Okay. Yeah, Hall, I'll look into that. I don't think there's a major, huge link, but if you are concerned, dump stevia.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing.
yeah.
You don't, this isn't like necessary. You don't need to have stevia.
I ideally don't, just for the record, don't like to add any kind of sweeteners to my real food, okay? I'm just saying that like I like it in my coffee, a little liquid stevia, but this is all about what's safe if you have to have a little bit, right?
A little treat.
So, treats are treats. Again, it doesn't have to be daily. It can be like once a week, but ideally you want to really, like the more I have, even if I'm having like sweeter coffee, I crave sweeter things.
Yeah.
So it's best to kind of just try to neutralize that, not try to add in those different things if you can. Yeah, I just think like if I have Zevia, if you guys heard of Zevia, it's got stevia in it. It makes me hungrier, and I crave like desserts, the weirdest thing. So I just don't buy it. I just don't have it in the cupboards because it gets addicting. I drink so much of it when I do buy it. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, you're going to promote more of the same. The more
Right.
sugar you have, the more you're going to crave, right? The more healthy fats you have, the more healthy fats you're going to crave. The more you exercise, the more exercise you're going to want to do.
Right.
It has to do with this compound effect. And our brain, likes to make consistent and kind of congruent decisions. And so it's really great to just, wean off some of this stuff.
Yeah.
If you're craving a little bit of sweet, it's best to go to like berries, raspberries,
Yeah,
blueberries,
right.
gooseberries, cloudberries, go out
Just
and
natural
go.
sweeteners,
Or
yeah.
here's another thing, just another tip. If you have a sweet craving, tell yourself, okay, I have to go walk around my neighborhood for 5 minutes. And if I do that at a very brisk pace, then I can have this sweet thing. And oftentimes after you go back, because after we exercise, our gut hormones are turned on, and that kind of suppresses appetite, and so we don't have that craving. So that's something,
Right.
that you can do is just, force yourself to get out. It's very easy if you kind of get this craving or this emotion, you get involved. We all emotionally eat sometime.
Right.
We come home after a busy, stressful day, and we just kind of stand in front of the fridge or the cupboards and eat like that. You can really overdo it. So that's a little tip that I would recommend. So someone's saying right here, Shelly's saying, I try to be keto as much as I can, but I notice eventually I need some healthy carbs. Yeah,
Of course.
after workout, healthy
Yeah.
carbs,
Yeah.
especially this time of year.
Yeah,
Carbohydrates,
this is
squashes,
Yeah.
zucchini, all that stuff is coming in season, friends.
Yeah, just
like,
just a little bit, not a ton, just like a little serving.
and they can really help things. Like,
Yeah.
have a good workout, post-workout recovery,
Totally.
glycogen resynthesis, all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Don't be totally scared of that.
Right. And it
What
doesn't have
is
to
an
be
Orring?
every day.
So this is really, really.
I can't wait to get mine, you guys. I want to get the white one. It's on back order. Can you believe that? I'm so irritated.
Yeah.
I want that ring.
Just gonna refresh and see how things are looking here on the stream. Okay, cool. We look a little out of focus. So keep talking.
Okay, so I just said something about the only sweet I'm trying to take now is dark chocolate, Robin. The rest makes me fall off of my keto lifestyle. That's great. If you know you, and I think that's a great approach, Robin. And I really love dark chocolate. In fact, I have 100% raw cacao. And,
Oh, it's too bitter. I
and
can't do it.
I just love it. And yeah, but you get used to it. And again, when you go keto and you're not adding a lot of sweeteners in your nutrition, you'll be surprised. Like that actually tastes really sweet if you're not used to having sweet things. So it's just really training your body. Yeah, I nibble on it, and just like a little square I'm good, And there's many benefits for 100% dark chocolate, right?
Yes,
Lots of
the polyphenols and flavonoids in the cocoa.
Yeah. In fact, I should grab that and show you guys. Darn it.
We'll look at it next time. Just make sure you get an organic, fair trade, 100%
Right.
dark chocolate.
Right.
So yeah, that's a really good thing. So let's see. So how do you make your own electrolyte water? You know what? One thing that we like to do is either get the Gerolsteiner water, the mineral water, periodically, especially when we travel, or you just add in Celtic sea salt, to a little bit. It's going to taste kind of like the ocean, but and Celtic sea
Nice.
salt. Just take a swig. So if you want to learn more about electrolytes, check out the recent podcast with James DiNicolantonio, author of The Salt Fix. Really, really good podcast.
You know what's really good too, Mike, in that kind of water, so it doesn't taste like the ocean, is adding, you guys ready for this? Coconut vinegar. If you add a few dashes of coconut vinegar and a little bit of ground ginger, those Bragg's drinks you can get, I think, at Whole Foods, where it's like apple cider vinegar, and like a bunch of companies are coming out with all these drinks that are like $10 per bottle. You guys just buy a bottle of coconut vinegar
Just have
and a
it
little
around.
bit of ground ginger, throw it in your water. It's identical, and then you can add your own flavorings like lemon and whatever you want, and you've just saved yourself about $1 million. So
Yeah.
my tip for the day.
That is really, really awesome. Okay,
It's
so
delicious
there's a
too.
question from
that.
London. Apron says, thank you, very interesting and informative. Thanks so much for that. Again, if you guys are tuning in and if you like this content, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, because sometimes we don't leave these live discussions up all the time. So you got to tune in 8:30 a.m. Saturday mornings, and you got to subscribe so that you get notified when we're live. And that brings me to our next segment here of this. I want to let you know about the Keto Lean Masterclass in our private Facebook group. There's over 130 people in the private Facebook group and many more. We do weekly calls on Thursdays where we answer even more detailed questions, talk about different fasting strategies, talk about different food combining strategies, exercise strategies, and other lifestyle modalities like tracking sleep with the Orring, tracking exercise, heart rate variability, a myriad of different things to help you keto adapt, but most importantly, have a healthier lifestyle. So if you want to learn more about that, if you want to join us and really take your health to the next level, there's a little eye icon. Click that. That's the link. That's where you can RSVP your seat, because actually this course is going, so enrollment for this does close in the next few weeks. So you want to join in before that happens.
Would a peach or kiwi per day throw me out of ketosis? That's a personal thing. You just
So
have to
individual.
test it.
Yeah,
You gotta
don't
test
like
it.
that's the thing that we teach you in this masterclass, guys, is you need to figure out what works for you. Like a kiwi could throw Deanna out of ketosis depending upon the certain time of day. Like for example,
Right.
this morning she had 14,000 steps on her vigorous walk, right? If she were to have a peach or kiwi before that, she wouldn't be burning as much fat for fuel.
Right.
Which that would be bad if you're trying to lose weight. But
Yeah.
if you were doing CrossFit and not walking, that would be a good thing, right? Because you would want to kind of foster glycolytic metabolism
Right.
for those explosive movements. So there's this sport specificity and goal specificity based upon what you're eating.
Right.
And that's what we really, really want to help you all figure out, because you don't want to always go to the guru and say, can I eat this or this? Like you
Right.
need to figure out what works for you, this
Right.
intuitive eating, so that, because you want to move on and not have to like listen to the gurus all the time and be able to
Right.
make decisions based upon how you feel and based upon
yeah.
your body.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, and the healthier you get and the more keto adapted you get, you'll find that even if you're thrown out of ketosis, you'll get back in pretty quickly. So I noticed that for me, like I'll go in and out of ketosis, and I'm at a pretty healthy state, and I've been keto adapted for probably, I don't know, like 2 years maybe. I played around with it 4 years ago, but yeah, I think it's just the healthier you get. Everyone's individual. And if I were going to have kiwi, though, it would be if I had a sweet tooth, like after dinner. It's a much better choice than like eating a Quest bar or, a protein bar. Just you want real food. And I'm sure there's some great benefits to kiwis.
We have a bunch of kiwis in our backyard, by the way.
Yeah. I mean,
Kiwi trees.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat like 3 kiwis. I just maybe have like a couple pieces of kiwi and share it with my family type of thing.
Yeah.
So.
Someone likes kiwis. Our chickens like kiwis too, and our daughter likes kiwis. So a really good discussion. And then Brandon says, yeah, about the Oura Ring. So the Oura Ring tracks heart rate variability. It tracks sleep cycles, sleep architecture. It tracks steps throughout the day, and it kind of combines this into an aggregate, kind of score. So it is a good biometric device. I think most importantly for sleep and heart rate variability and sleep architecture to tell you, how your sleep is, things like that. So Brandon, thanks for adding that tip here. Yes, everyone likes the Salt podcast. It was really, really awesome. Okay, so thank you so much. I'm trying to lose weight. Well explained. Yeah, so Luki, if you want to, use keto and formulating a diet to help your microbiome to lose weight, definitely want to join the Keto Lean Masterclass for $47 while you still can. So,
What's Stephanie's question here? What do you think about keto and fasting if she's been amenorrheic for over a year and a half, when she cuts out starches, but still loads of veggies? Keto rash on my face. I've never heard of keto rash, but I'd like to learn about that. And get constipated, definitely constipated. So, I don't know. Again,
it's all individual. It
It's-
depends.
yeah.
When people say I go keto or I went keto, that's like saying I went out and exercised.
Right.
It kind of doesn't add in the context and the caveats associated with that. If you go out and exercise, you can do Olympic skiing, you do, parkour, you can be doing gymnastics, or you can be doing weight training. So when you say you went keto, what really does that mean? And so one of the things we like to teach people is kind of a real food ketogenic diet that is also microbiome friendly. So that way we're not missing any of the phytonutrients that can cause things like you mentioned, Stephanie, constipation,
Right.
cause acne. If you shift from a real food diet to what people think is keto, a lot of bacon, a lot of butter, pork, that's not necessarily healthy. And then you can see aberrant, side effects: acne, leptin resistance, insulin resistance, weight loss resistance, and even a flare of autoimmunity.
Right.
So
So Stephanie, too, also if you're amenorrheic, you might want to find out like the ultimate cause of why from your primary care OBG, because it could be like minerals you're lacking, iron deficiency,
overtraining,
body
stress.
fat. Yeah, overtraining. Your body fat could be actually too low, which I wouldn't recommend doing maybe keto at that point. But there could be many different things going on there. But again, there's different views on if you're an elite athlete, many are amenorrheic because they're at a super low body percentage. So it just depends. We don't really know enough about you to answer that question. So
Yeah.
just consult with your primary care for sure. But if you don't feel good on it, don't do it. And constipation can happen if you're just getting into being keto adapted because of all the fiber, and it just depends on the fat you're having. It could be a little bit too much. So again, you just got to kind of feel it out, play around with it.
Totally.
So.
Customize, tinker and test. Hello from the UK. Thanks, Alex. We love the UK. So someone says, Sarah says, what about kefir to enhance gut flora? Big fan of that, as long as there's no added sugar.
Right.
What are your thoughts? Kefir.
Kefir. Oh yeah. It's
For
great.
gut health.
Yeah.
Also,
it's amazing.
kimchi,
Yeah.
fermented foods, we're a big fan of that. Making your own kombucha
Yep.
is really, really good. So there's a question here. Someone
Just
says,
rinse
I
your
heard on
teeth.
a YouTube channel, what about, should you have carbs during menstruation? Yeah.
Sonia, I don't. In fact, I do the opposite. And this is just me, okay? Because I retain water like most women right before my menstrual cycle. And so what works for me, if you're struggling with that, is just making sure you're hydrated. Sauna therapy is amazing. Exercise is amazing. And no, I actually try to watch my carb intake because it can retain water, it can cause water retention. So I avoid it around that time, and I can get away with more carbs when I'm 2 weeks out from there. So hopefully that answers your question. I don't know about hormonal reasons, but
Well, it
would you
speaks
answer
to the
that?
sense of the individual variances here.
Yeah.
Just because someone says, "Oh, I have carbs on my menstrual cycle," doesn't
Right.
mean you should do that
That's
either,
just
right?
a
It's so
personal thing.
different. Everyone is so
And
different.
it's how you feel too and your energy. I find it helps my energy.
Yeah.
So I have a lot more energy when I don't eat a lot of slow carbs, or even berries and stuff during my cycle.
Yeah.
So
But some people do get a little bit more, have more carb cravings.
Yeah.
And so listen to your body. If you have carb
Exactly.
cravings,
Yeah.
by all means, have a few
Sure.
carbs. It's not a big deal. This isn't an anti-carb thing.
I'm definitely a dark chocolate girl during my menstrual cycle for sure.
Guys, humans have been having carbohydrates for a very long time, so don't be totally worried about that. Keto can be a great tool for some people,
Sure.
for diabetes, for weight loss, for cognitive improvements, lowering inflammation, but it doesn't mean you can never have carbohydrates. So a few things are coming up here. Let's go back to right here, trying to lose weight. Heard you. Let's see, there's another one right here. Physiological insulin resistance while being keto. Do I need to carb up?
That's awesome.
So Elsa, I don't really understand exactly the question. A ketogenic diet can be very helpful for insulin resistance, and if improperly formulated, again, a lot of bacon, a lot of liquid fats, things like that, can cause insulin resistance via absorption of endotoxins. And so that's the kind of difference on this channel. What we like to teach you is a real food, ketogenic, microbiome-friendly way of living. It's not just a diet, it's a lifestyle. So if you want to learn the tips and tools and the kind of the 40 hours of information compressed down, click the little I link there. You can get access to our private Facebook group and all the videos and behind the scenes and recipes that will help you make that transition.
Commander, we don't count macros at all.
What we do like and suggest people do, that's especially if you're new to this and you have weight loss issues or blood sugar issues, is just track the food that you're eating on a big picture level.
Yeah.
3 eggs and half of an avocado.
Yeah.
Not breaking down the individual micros. Getting a big picture level and then taking like a week snapshot of that and saying, okay, well, where are things at? Like how much food am I really eating? How much activity am I doing? Tracking your sleep, tracking these sort of things. And then saying, okay, well, this day I had 7 meals and these snacks.
Right.
No wonder there's issues. Or this day, actually, I only had maybe about 800 calories, or like 2 small meals, and I'm feeling weak and tired, and so that's what we recommend.
But getting an idea of like how much sugar, for example, would be in what you're eating too, because insulin plays a big factor. For example, like dried fruit is brutal. So if you're gonna have like 2 meals a day, make sure it's healthy, that it's low glycemic, that it's not like a package of dried mango, for example, that has like 30 grams of sugar per serving, if you know what I mean. So look at charts for like how they affect your insulin, right?
Yes. And track, use a glucometer to
Right.
track your post-meal, pre-meal, fasted glucose levels.
And doing like, windows of eating will help you better track generally, like restricting it, for example, to like a 6 to 8 hour window and then not eating or just like drinking like kombucha or water, a little coffee in between that time. So it will really help you kind of keep things in control, and it's probably good for your gut too.
Yeah. So Hall says, I heard you say that bacon and butter can cause insulin resistance. It has to do with how they change the microflora and absorption of gram-negative bacteria called endotoxin. So if you subscribe to the channel, Hall, later on today, I'm going to post an interview snippet all about metabolic endotoxemia and the ketogenic diet. This is something that a lot of people in the keto space kind of gloss over. And we see a lot of people that try keto and have adverse reactions, or it worked for them for a little while and then it kind of stops working. A big factor of that there is gut health. And we catch up with Dr. Tommy Wood about that. So while those foods are low glycemic, glycemic variability within food is one piece of the equation. The other piece is your gut health. Your microbiome, the number of cells in your microbiome equate to the number of human cells you have in your body. Their metabolic activity exceeds that of the liver. This is an organ. And so if we're having a bunch of bulletproof coffee, not that that's bad, but low polyphenol diet, low fiber diet, which a lot of people do when they go keto, they can have adverse reactions, which ties into this next question by James from the UK. He says, my girlfriend, every time she goes on a keto diet, she gets hives and rashes and things like that. So if you're having an autoimmune-like response due to the absorption of imbalanced gut bacteria particles, then you can certainly have an aberrant reaction. So I would say to you, James, okay, what is your girlfriend eating when she goes keto? Again, the ketogenic diet varies, right? Some people just have meat and bacon and butter, which we don't recommend.
It could be
and dairy and
yeah.
cheese, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, we need, you didn't qualify exactly what she's eating.
Right.
So when you're eating kind of the way that we found to be very helpful, that's low carb and microbiome friendly, high vegetable fats, these adverse reactions, hives, insomnia, hormone issues, that doesn't happen because you're eating real food.
Like low toxin, just like moderate protein, right? So just good sources of food, right? But like no dairy.
And folks, if you don't work on gut health before you try the keto thing, you can have those issues, right? So does she have a gallbladder, James? How is her liver gallbladder function? What does her blood work say? So that's the thing. Like, so if you have poor liver health and it's congested with environmental, chemicals, endocrine disrupting chemicals, phthalates, parabens, benzenes, bisphenol A from farm fish, your liver's going to be clogged up. You're not going to be able to keto adapt. And when you go keto or try to, you might get these flare-ups, these adverse reactions, the hives, the acne, headaches, migraines, and so on. So that's a big core theme of this channel and what we promote in our master class. So if you want to learn those tips, guys, click the link here.
Do you guys do cyclic keto every day with fruits with sweet potatoes at night? Will. So
not every day.
No.
Depends on activity.
Yeah. And again, it's not really, well, for me, I don't plan it. I just really try to eat intuitively. What about you? I mean, if we're doing high intensity, like an all-day hike or something, definitely we'll have added carbs in there in the form of like slow carb sweet potatoes or low glycemic berries. So things that are super healthy, good for the gut, but yes, they're carbs.
Yeah.
And they may take us out of ketosis, but we're healthy enough where we find those back in. pretty quickly.
But because we were active during that day and exercising a lot, right? You're going to be in ketosis.
Yeah,
For
sure.
Exercise does promote that. And then so someone says keto for soccer players. It totally depends. Like you can be mostly keto, but just check out the interview with Danny Lennon. Go to the playlist on High Intensity Health channel. Look for it's titled Smart Carbs with Danny Lennon. It's not like, are you keto or are you not keto? You can be mostly keto, and if soccer, you're going to have little bursts and sprints and glycolytic-based activity.
Right.
I personally, if I was a professional soccer player or competitive, I would not be 100% keto, especially during the game. I would be mostly keto because there's a lot of susceptibility for head trauma for soccer, right? Butting heads, hitting the ball, and ketones can help, kind of protect the brain.
Right.
So, yes, but mostly keto,
And
not
I bet
100%.
you guys, I bet many elite athletes, like cyclists and marathon runners, etc., are ketogenic or in ketosis. They don't even know it. Like they don't qualify themselves as ketogenic, right? They're just exercising a ton. They're probably, hopefully, many are eating super healthy, real food. Who knows these days? So I see
Unfortunately, probably
donuts on
not.
Instagram.
Probably
But
not.
those who are most definitely probably in ketosis, wouldn't you say? Except for the ones posting donuts post workout.
Yeah. Funky Music says lectins can pierce a gut wall. Do you think avoiding high lectin foods? Yeah, that's a really good question, particularly if you're susceptible to autoimmunity or you have autoimmunity or asthma or some environmental sensitivities. Lectins, we talk about this in various podcasts. So check out the interview. Go to highintensityhealth.com. Type in Lauren Cordain. He's the author of The Paleo Diet. We talk all about lectins and how he's been researching lectins for a while. Also check out the podcast. Who else did we talk about this with? John Douillard was another one. So we talk about some of the positive effects of lectins. See, lectins, and also with Dave Asprey, we talk about this as well. So those are the resources. I know Stephen Gondry has a book out, Plant Paradox or something like that, where he talks all about lectins. So, if you have Hashimoto's, it's flaring, do you want to have an heirloom tomato right now? Maybe not, right? But if you don't have any autoimmunity, you don't have any asthma or allergies, there's no problem with having a little bit of lectins if it's organic, non-genetically modified food, right? So it really depends. Context is very, very important. And so in those interviews, if you want to learn more about that, John Douillard, and those others in the High Intensity Health channel, check that out. So let's go back up here. There was another one here. How does one know if their insulin spiked? You need to kind of triangulate through blood glucose and ketones.
So, Commander, maybe off topic, but have you guys tried quitting caffeine? What do you think of caffeine? I love caffeine in the morning with fasted cardio. I think it helps get into that fat burning state. I try to quit after about 1 o'clock. Sometimes I have a second, but it can affect your sleep. Depends how sensitive you are to it. So I don't think there's any reason to quit it unless you have a sensitivity. What are your thoughts?
With caffeine, so caffeine is very ketogenic, friends. So it is good before you work out because it can actually cause a bolus of caffeine can help your liver crank out those ketones. So if you're really into that and you want to burn more fat while you exercise, do it. So I use it as a pre-workout strategy. But in an upcoming podcast with Emily Schramm, so if you're a High Intensity Health Insider, you'll get access to this. You'll realize that sometimes people medicate with caffeine and they don't really feel like working out, but they take caffeine anyway, and then they get into this overtraining like syndrome. So use caffeine as a strategy. Totally avoiding caffeine is, some people may be good. It all depends. How's your sleep? What's the source of caffeine? Is it USP caffeine or organic coffee, right? Or green tea? So there's a lot of variables there. And then someone says, what about dairy? So if you go back to the High Intensity Health channel, look back, it's a holiday weight loss strategies, I think is a video I talk all about dairy, and dairy's paradoxical low glycemic, but it is insulinogenic, meaning dairy doesn't spike your blood sugar, but it spikes insulin. So for some people, that can be a bad thing. If you have a high susceptibility to cancer, if you're over the age of 65 and things like that, if you're trying to lose weight, that can be an issue. The other thing though with dairy though, for some people, it's very satiating. People feel full, So it really depends.
Just good sources if it doesn't like raw dairy, like a raw cheese in moderation, ghee, butter, because it's clarified butter.
Grass-fed whey protein.
I don't know
Post-workout.
about organic heavy cream and coffee. I cut that. That was a tough one. I don't know. Just again, it's personal, but Yeah. What do you think about ghee? I mean,
Love ghee.
yeah.
Love it, guys.
delicious.
How about caffeine? If you for sure have adrenal fatigue or stretch factor, not really Shelly Belly, doesn't prove to be, and there is no, I don't know who said that. It can, the biggest thing with adrenal fatigue is your circadian rhythms and exposure, getting good, deep, rested, quality sleep and not overtraining. Caffeine doesn't really stimulate the adrenals like some people say. Okay, what do you think about EMF from Fitbits? That is a major concern, so just wear it when you're
Yeah,
active
I
during the
know.
day, turn off at night. That's why the Orring is cool, because you can put it in airplane mode and so forth. So if someone says, if you eat berries while here in Coeur d'Alene, definitely try some raw, fresh huckleberries.
Ooh.
Yes, Sanja, love that.
Will do.
So guys, we really, really are grateful that you're with us, that you're still watching, whether you're watching the replay or here live.
Thank
If
you
you
so
like
much.
this,
Yeah.
please hit that thumbs up. Hit that like button. That really gives us feedback and lets us know if we should continue doing these or change the topic or whatever.
Yeah.
And before we part ways, we would love to have you on our private Facebook group, the Keto Lean Masterclass, where we can have these conversations every day because we normally don't do one-on-one consults when it comes to nutrition. We do it in a group setting,
Right.
and we do weekly coaching calls to help you through these transitions, from transitioning from or straddling where you're doing diet Dr. Pepper and like ketogenic junk food to a real low-carb, microbiome-friendly ketogenic diet. That's the goal. That's what's going to help you long-term if you want to balance your blood sugar. If you want to be lean year-round, I'm talking six-pack, shredded, best shape of your life, where you're going to learn the exercise that will boost your metabolism, boost your body's ability to burn fat. Click the little link here, and I'll put it in the descriptions. You can sign up and get access to all these type of questions and some Q&A all the time. And recipes. Deanna is an amazing chef.
Thank you.
We're going to talk about that. And before we part ways, I want to just highlight our show sponsor here. So this YouTube channel, these discussions are sponsored by you, people like you, by supporting our e-courses, watching the videos. We get advertising from that, and also from Zymogen, one of our favorite before bed products. Deanna, why don't you talk about Relax Max?
That it's delicious, and
So
I
we
need
put
it.
this in a wine glass. We put this in a wine glass
cocktail at night.
It's a mocktail. It is a,
So good.
what's really unique about this, friends, it's myo-inositol, L-theanine, taurine, GABA, and magnesium. So these are all nutrients that really promote and foster deep sleep, deep REM sleep, but also they help support insulin sensitivity. So myo-inositol and taurine really help with that.
Yeah, it's good
So
stuff.
if you crave alcohol, or maybe you smoke weed before you go to bed a little bit, or whatever. Some people take Tylenol PMs. Like, there's a lot of strategies. That stuff is going to wreck your REM sleep.
Yeah.
This promotes deep REM sleep. So check it out. Zymogen Relax Max, an all-time favorite product. They support our endeavors here at High Intensity Health. And so that way you can watch these free videos.
Yeah.
So we're going to sign off, guys. How do I make keto-friendly gummy bears? Join the masterclass. We don't have time to address that right now. What about Greek
But
yogurt?
it's not tough. I can.
It is easy,
help
but we
you
do
with
have
that.
those videos in our masterclass e-course. Hoping to have a handout. I can look later. I don't have time to watch this stuff. There's no handouts, Gabrielle. You can join our masterclass. We do have downloads there, but I'm sorry about that we don't just have handouts and all of the free stuff. Do amino acids affect fasting? Yes, they do. Protein will affect autophagy. So that's one of the things we talk about in the masterclass, all the different types of strategies and things you should understand about fasting. Different macronutrients and proteins will affect that. So, friends, really appreciate this. If you have more questions, type them in the comment bar here or join the class by clicking the little link.
And thanks for joining us on a Saturday morning. So great.
Super awesome.
Couldn't do it without you.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to sign off. Where can folks connect with you?
Real Food Lab on Instagram. I love Instagram, and
Metabolic Mike,
Yeah.
and then on the channel, of course. So if you like this, please give it a thumbs up. We'll see you actually next week. We're going to be hiking, hanging out in Coeur d'Alene, so we're not going to be live. We're going to do a video, but we're not going to be live. So we'll be live again. I think it'll be like my birthday.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to be 35 coming up the
Ooh,
August
so
31st.
Old.
So,
So old, Mike.
all right, we'll catch you guys later. Have a good weekend.